So, the Boltzmann brain paradox is a bit of a doozy. It's a philosophical conundrum that involves physics, cosmology, and some pretty trippy thought experiments. Basically, it goes like this. Imagine a universe that's infinitely large and infinitely old. In this universe, there are countless particles that are bouncing around, colliding with each other, and generally doing their thing. According to the laws of physics, these particles will eventually arrange themselves in all sorts of configurations, including configurations that give rise to complex structures like stars, planets, and even life forms like humans. Now here's the thing. The laws of physics also allow for the formation of something called a Boltzmann brain. This is basically a brain that pops into existence out of the random arrangement of particles, without any sort of external cause or evolutionary process. In other words, it's a brain that appears fully formed, with all the memories, thoughts, and emotions of a conscious being. Now here's where things get weird. If the universe is infinite and eternal, then statistically speaking, it's actually more likely for a Boltzmann brain to form than for a complex structure like a star or a planet to form. This is because the odds of a Boltzmann brain forming are much smaller than the odds of a star or a planet forming, but since the universe is infinite and eternal, there are infinite opportunities for it to happen. So the paradox is this: if the universe is infinite and eternal, then it's actually more likely for you to be a Boltzmann brain than for you to be a real flesh-and-blood human being. In other words, everything you think you know about the world around you, all your memories, experiences, and relationships, could be nothing more than a figment of your imagination, created by a random arrangement of particles. Now, I don't know about you, but the idea of being a Boltzmann brain is a bit unsettling to me. I mean, sure, it's kind of cool to imagine being a fully formed consciousness that just pops into existence out of nowhere, but it's also kind of terrifying to think that everything I've ever known could be a complete illusion. So, what's the solution to this paradox? Well, there are a few different approaches that philosophers and physicists have taken. One possibility is that the universe isn't actually infinite and eternal, but has some sort of beginning and end. This would make it much less likely for Boltzmann brains to form, since there would be a limited amount of time and space for them to arise. Another possibility is that there are some sort of physical or metaphysical constraints that prevent Boltzmann brains from forming. For example, maybe consciousness requires more than just a random arrangement of particles, and there's some sort of underlying structure or order to the universe that makes conscious beings like us possible. Of course, these are just speculations, and we may never know for sure if the Boltzmann brain paradox is truly a paradox or just a quirky thought experiment that has no bearing on reality. But regardless of the answer, one thing's for sure. It's always good to question our assumptions and challenge our understanding of the universe. Who knows? Maybe someday we'll figure out the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. Spoiler alert, it's 42.